how was your coffee? I hope you found it as refreshing as I did. In this lesson we're going to talk about data challenges and how to overcome them. This quote is from W. Edwards Deming, who's an American statistician, and that's so true of the digital age. Every management team needs to have their finger on the pulse of accurate, useful data presented in meaningful ways. But how do you achieve that? How do you maximize the efficiency of your processes with data and maximize your ability to deliver exceptional customer experience through great services delivered through fantastic automations? And how can technology play a role in helping you to achieve all of that? Organizations today hoard gigabytes of data about their customers, their products, their markets, and their solutions. Digital transformation projects have a habit of either generating new data or reusing old data, or a blend of the two. As soon as business leaders develop ideas for business model reinvention, the next thought in the minds of IT and DevOps teams is, where is the data coming from for this? Reusing data found within the enterprise can be challenging because of data quality issues, the variations of data structures and field formats between applications, and issues getting data out of systems. Data quality and data completeness, then, are big challenges for digital transformation leaders. How do you then take those data resources and harness them to create improved automated processes that may include machines and humans? That's what we're going to look at in this lesson. And to get started, let's look at two different models of process automation. This is the first one. It's called the job packet system. It follows job packets on their journey through a series of gates and events until they reach their outcome. It's easy for humans to think of workflow in these terms because we think in straight lines and visualize the gates that we need to get through to reach our destination. It's a common workflow approach for paper documents that are used to carry the jobs through the various stages of a process. Unfortunately, making computers deliver workflows in a way that humans want to think doesn't build a simple computer system. Another challenge is the programmatic components of this type of system are more complex to reuse. Our next model is called the controller managed system. It manages workflow from a central database controller by flicking switches. Think of a rail network managed by a fat controller that sets points and navigates trains around the track. All workflow logic is controlled by a central console by switching options on and off. The tracks define optimal predetermined routes, while the impact of switches is that jobs get routed down the most suitable route based on the individual requirements of the job. In the real world of business workflow, progressions of work happen by selecting options in database tables. This is a very simple and efficient way of using a computer to manage workflow. It also encourages greater reuse of programmable components. But one of the disadvantages of the controller managed system is that it's more difficult for humans to visualize. It also makes migration away from paper-based forms processes more complex. Within Canvas Information Flow Designer, we adopt the controller model, and we do that because it's inherently more efficient in the design and implementation and reuse of workflow componentry. It's important, when promoting use of a controller-managed workflow system, to explain to users the differences between these two models and the benefits that a controller managed system provides. Let's now examine 5 data challenges that commonly emerge when you're creating new applications to automate workflows. This is the first one, harvesting data. As we've mentioned before, it's not easy to harvest data. Complexity is added by the variety of systems and file formats in use. It's very rare for applications to be used in isolation, and for that reason, it's common for new applications to require data to be uploaded from third-party data sources. On the screen now you can see a typical example of a harvesting application. In this case, we have 3 different data repositories: Oracle, SAP, and Excel. In this case, we're receiving data from all 3 sources, but feeding it back to Oracle. This type of hybrid combination is absolutely possible. It might be, for example, you need to return information that's been updated to one of your systems of record. The data will be aggregated in the cloud, and when it's aggregated, you can decide where each item of data needs to go and how it's transformed. You can schedule these uploads as timed events, or alternatively, you could have a watch folder to receive data and then automatically upload it, or you could have an ad hoc manual process to upload data when it becomes available. Canvas includes a variety of ready-to-use data connectors to simplify data harvesting. To set up a new upload, you use drag-and-drop interfaces and pop-up configuration panels. In circumstances where third parties need to orchestrate their own data uploads to your data mart, we recommend the use of Information Flow Designer. It provides robots to make it straightforward for third parties to upload data to your systems. It's important when you're harvesting data that the information you're receiving is accurate and up to date. With some systems, like financial systems, they're not up to date all of the time. It may be the data is only complete at the end of a trading period. Our second example is using filters to cleanse data. This might include removing spaces, concatenating multiple fields into a joined up value, or invoking mathematical formulas to recalculate values or add totals. You can use Information Flow Designer to validate the data that's being brought into the system. And in this validation process, if a record fails, you can quarantine it for further review later. Another data challenge comes from mashing data up from multiple sources. Canvas supports data mashing in 3 major ways. First, it offers multi-threading, which means that it maintains live sessions with your third-party data sources and databases. Secondly, it's multi-sourcing, so it facilitates the harvesting of data from multiple data sources at the same time. And thirdly, it's multi-linking. That means it permits the selection of fine-grained rows of data from harvested data tables to create new data structures to serve your applications and canvases. Canvas can create new data marts to support your new applications. Without coding, you can create a new SQL database by publishing the rules that you've created in your canvas. Information Flow Designer can be used to run scheduled updates to data records created in your new data mart, so that the currency of the data and the integrity of the data mart is always maintained. Our last data problem is data governance and security. It's important to discourage the use of homemade apps like spreadsheets because they contain data that's not controlled by IT, and they give too much control to users to manipulate the table structures and even the types of data being held in cells. It also makes the data very difficult to reuse. Shadow data created by spreadsheets is a real problem for data administrators today. Canvas encourages the removal of homemade apps. Furthermore, it logs all data movements between systems. It produces email summaries of data processing activities across the app fabric on a scheduled daily, weekly or monthly basis. It enforces user privileges to control user access to data. It prevents downloading of data to local hard drives, and it even provides application performance statistics. That's the end of this lesson and this module. Before you move ahead to new modules, please take a moment to step back through your notes and make sure you're comfortable with what you've learned. If you have any questions about the content we've provided, please reach out to us on our email or speak to your tutor if you have one. In the next module, we're going to dig deeper into In-Canvas Create and the tools that you'll be using. I'll see you then.